Members, it's the appointed time. We have a quorum. Please go back to your seats. I call the meeting to order. Item number 1, report of the meeting with the Chief Secretary. The Chief Secretary is grateful to members for their constructive comments given in the discussion on the proposed legal framework to regulate ride-hailing service in the panel on transport meeting. These comments have helped the government to finalize matters relating to the principle of the regime. Members also support the government to press ahead with the legislation at full steam. The CS also indicates that the administration gazetted the Road Traffic Ride-Hailing Service Amendment Bill 2025 last Friday. The Transport and Logistics Bureau will support the scrutiny of the bill by LegCo with an aim to have the bill passed before the end of this term of LegCo. Item 2. Legal Service Division reports on bills and subsidiary legislation. There is one bill referred to the House Committee in accordance with Rule 54(4) of the Rules of Procedure. Road Traffic Amendment Ride-Hailing Service Bill 2025. Let's hear from the legal advisor. This is LS 75 of 2025. The bill seeks to amend the Road Traffic Ordinance as well as relevant regulations and legislation to provide for regulation of ride-hailing service on the licensing scheme of platforms, vehicles, and drivers of ride-hailing. It's proposed in the bill that the applicant should be a company registered in Hong Kong and meet certain conditions, that is, in relation to the financial viability as well as the experience. In relation to conditions, it says that the private car should be the car owner and the age of the car should not be more than 12 years. In relation to drivers, there are conditions. They should be at least 21 years old, Hong Kong ID card number, have no major convictions, and have passed relevant tests. In relation to the operational details, in relation to the maximum number of cars in the fleet, they will be set out in the subsidiary legislation later. It's also stated that for illegal carriage of passengers, once as the person is convicted, there will be an offense as well as a suspension of the license for no more than 12 months. It will come into operation on a date to be appointed by the Secretary. In July this year, the panel on transport was consulted. Members supported the bill and discussed a number of matters. We're looking into the legal and drafting aspects of the bill. The bill seeks to introduce a new regulatory regime in relation to ride-hailing service. Members may consider forming a bills committee. That's my report. Members, would you like to set up a bills committee? If so, please raise your hands. Mr. Tommy Zhang, Mr. Ben Chan. We have more than 3 members. I will join the bills committee too. The Secretariat will issue a notice inviting members to join. Item 2B, subsidiary legislation. There are 5 items. Subsidiary legislation gazetted on the 5th of September this year. It covers 5 items. Legal advisor, please. This is paper number LS 76 of 2025. First, LN 193. This is a new regulation to implement the Merchant Shipping Safe and Environmentally Sound Recycling of Ships Bill passed in May this year and to implement the detailed requirements of the Hong Kong International Convention. Where it sets out regulations in relation to hazardous materials, as obligations of the operators, the powers of the Director of Marines, as well as relevant matters. Please refer to the second paragraph. In December last year, the panel on economic development was consulted. Members in general supported the bill. This will come into operation on the date to be appointed by the Secretary. We have made inquiries of the administration. For details, please refer to paragraph 3. Subject to further views of members, We have not identified any difficulties in legal and drafting aspects. That's my report. Members, would you like to set up a subcommittee? There are no hands. I think members don't think there is a need. Please continue. The second batch are 3 notices, that is LN 194 to 196. They are related to road traffic. They are subsidiary legislation. First, LN 194 and 195. They aim to extend certain existing requirements in relation to installation and use of seat belts to school service vehicles, public light buses, goods vehicles, and special purpose vehicles. There are new offences as well as updating of standards and specifications of approved seat belts. The aim of LN 196 is to regulate the use of mobile telecommunication devices. In relation to the size, placing, number, and use of these devices, there are new requirements. Say, for example, no more than 2 are to be installed in vehicles. There are also penalties set out. In relation to the majority of provisions in 194 and 195 and 194, they will come into operation on the 25th of January 2026. In relation to the provisions relating to student service vehicles, that is LN 194, the operation date will be the 31st of December 2028. The panel on transport was consulted. Members in general support the bill. We have made some inquiries of the administration. For details, please refer to paragraph 15. Subject to further views of members, we have not identified any legal and drafting difficulties in relation to the 3 notices. So that's my report for LN 194 to 196. Members, would you like to set up a subcommittee? Mr. Ben Chan? Ms. Nixie Lam? We need one more. We have more than 3. The Secretariat will issue notice to invite members to join. Please continue. The last one is LN 197. It's a commencement notice. The aim is to appoint the 3rd of November this year as the day on which the amendment ordinance of banking ordinance to come into operation. The amendment bill was passed in June this year. This is to introduce a voluntary mechanism for authorized institutions, say for example banks, to request or disclose information for detection and prevention of crimes. Please refer to paragraphs 17 and 18. We have not identified any legal or drafting difficulties. That's my report for the commencement notice. Members, would you like to set up a subcommittee? I don't think so. Let me remind members in relation to these 5 items, the period of amendment will expire on the council meeting on the 8th of October. Business for the council meeting of the 17th of September 2025. On that day, the Chief Executive will present his policy address. Item 4, Chief Executive's question and answer session on the policy address on the 18th of September 2025. It will take place at 10:30, lasting till noon. Item 5, business for the council meeting of the 24th of September. First, questions. A list of members' allocated question slots has been uploaded. B, government bill, first reading and second reading. Debate to be adjourned. The Secretariat has not received any notice. C, government bills, second reading, debate to resume, consideration by Committee of the Whole Council, and third reading. There are 2 bills. The first one is Registration of Titles and Land Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2025. The second one is Basic Housing Units Bill. In a meeting of the House Committee last week, House Committee has already taken note of these reports. Government motions, there are 4. First, proposed resolution under Section 46 of the Mandatory Provident Fund Schemes Ordinance moved by the Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasury. The second one is from the Secretary for Security, a proposed resolution under Section 25 of the Fire Services Ordinance. The subcommittee in charge of scrutinizing the two pieces of subsidiary legislation have already submitted their report in Accounts Committee 29th of August. Members has taken note that the administration plans to move the two motions at the council meeting on the 24th of September. In addition, there are two proposed resolutions to be moved by the Secretary for Labour and Welfare, one under Section 48A of the Employees' Compensation Ordinance, the other one under the Pneumoconiosis and Mesothelioma Compensation Ordinance. Legal Advisor, this is LS 77 of 2025. The aim is to seek the endorsement of the LegCo to increase the maximum daily rates of medical expenses payable. For outpatients, it will be increased from 300 to 500. For inpatient and outpatient treatment received on the same day, the maximum daily rate will be increased from $370 to $700. Please refer to paragraphs 1 to 5. The last revision was in 2018. According to the administration, this is in response to the new service fees and charges of the public health care, which will come into operation on the 1st of January next year. The panel on manpower was consulted in July this year. Members generally supported the bill and expressed concerns. If the two proposed resolutions are passed, the maximum daily rate will come into operation on the 1st of January 2026. We have not identified any legal or drafting difficulties. Members, would you like to set up a subcommittee? No. On the 24th of September at the council meeting, the administration will move the government motions. Members' Bill consideration by Committee of the Whole Council and third reading, Hong Kong Baptist University Amendment Bill 2025. The remaining procedure will be dealt with at that council meeting. F. Members' motions. The first one is from Professor Chen Wing Kwong on stepping up efforts in combating illegal medical practices to safeguard public health. The second one is from Mr. Kok Wai Keung on firmly upholding the safeguards of the employment priority for local employees. And the third one's from myself, a motion to take note of the report of the House Committee on consideration of subsidiary legislation and other instruments. That is in relation to report number 21 of 2025. These three motions were to take place on the 10th of September. The wording of these motions has already been uploaded. Position on bills committees and subcommittees. As at the 11th of September, there is one subcommittee under the House Committee and one subcommittee under panel on policy issues. They are in action. Item number 7. Any other business? There is no other business today. Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.